Hi guys, it's Bobby today, and I'm excited to join you because today I'm going to tell you my story, my health and wellness story. The journey that I took started when I was 19. For about 11 years, it was a downhill spiral. I'll tell you about that here in a minute. But my main point today is we're going to talk about wellness and about my wellness story because I was not told that I needed to take my hand off the stove. And so people often ask me, Bobby, why do you care so much about health and wellness? Like, our days are numbered anyway, right? God knows when we're going to die, all this stuff. Why do you care about what you eat? Why do you care about how you treat your body? And why do you care about teaching others about that? Really? I mean, don't they think you're judging them? And the truth is I'm not judging anyone. The truth is that my heart goes out to those people that are living in pain. My heart goes out to those people who don't have the energy to do the things that they want to do with their family. My heart goes out to those people that live in fear. Because there was a lot of days, a number of years ago, where I woke up every day in pain, where my body was stiff. And when I go downstairs in the morning, my body ached, my body was stiff. I know what it's like to want to go on hikes, go on walks, maybe go play something with your loved ones, with my husband, and not be able to do it or do it but be in pain the whole time. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to live in fear, not knowing what the future holds, not knowing if you're going to get worse, not knowing if you're going to get better, not knowing if today is the day that you're going to have an attack out in public, if you're going to have an episode when you're driving. I know what that's like. I also know what it's like not to know whether or not you're going to get better, and to be told that you will not ever get better and that you're just going to get worse. I know what that's like, and so my heart cries out for those people who are experiencing that today or who will experience that in the near future. And that's why I'm so passionate about getting my story out about health and wellness, because I learned a great big lesson, and I'll tell you the lesson that I learned. So my health journey started, a lot of you know this, some of you don't. My health journey started when I was 19, and back then I was an M&M addict. Anyone that knows me or knew me back then knows that I ate about a pound of M&Ms every day, and I didn't care what I ate fast food. And up until I was 19, I was fine. And then I went to college, and we were learning how to take blood pressure in an athletic training course. And I found out that my blood pressure was extremely high, so high that they got me into Mayo Clinic overnight. And I dealt with this high blood pressure for years. I mean, I didn't feel it. It didn't make me feel bad, but obviously that's not good for your body. And then over the course of years, so I was put on medicine for my high blood pressure. Over the course of a number of years, I developed painful feet, plantar fasciitis, and I had very painful feet. So painful that I would crawl to the bathroom, I would sit on the counter to do dishes, and I was just constantly in pain if I was standing. During that time, I also had severe infections. I was getting bladder infections, urinary tract infections about 3 times a month. It was just kind of a constant thing. My doctors had given me antibiotics, a stash of them that I could constantly just keep getting refilled, because it was just kind of a downward spiral. I was always dealing with something. And then a couple years into my marriage, so this whole journey was about 11 years before I found the answer. But a few years after my marriage, I developed something called Meniere's disease, and if you don't know what it is, I'll just tell you it is awful. It's a disease of the inner ear where I would be perfectly fine, and with absolutely no warning, I would have no body awareness. I'd feel like I was falling through the earth. I couldn't walk. The first time I had an episode, I tried to hit a light switch, and I couldn't hit it because I had no body awareness, and I just kept swiping at this light switch. And I started having these episodes every week and a half to 2 weeks for 4.5 months. And we went to Des Moines, and in the Des Moines hospitals, they said, Bobby, you may or may not get worse, but this will not get better. This does not go away. And I went to Mayo Clinic, And at first they told me, you're too young for this. I'm sure you don't have it. They ran the test. Sure enough, I ended up throwing up. Doctor's holding my hair back. And he's like, oh my gosh, you do have full-blown Meniere's disease, and you have it in both ears. And he said, yeah, what they told you is right. It may or may not get worse, but it will not get better. And I remember leaving Minnesota that day, coming home, and my husband and I were at a point where we wanted to start a family. We didn't have kids at the time, but I desperately wanted to have kids, and I wanted a lot of them. And so did my husband. And I remember leaving, and I literally was at rock bottom. And maybe some of you guys are there today, just at rock bottom, and where people told you you had no hope. And I remember driving home, and my husband said, Bobby, God made you. If he made you, don't you think he can heal you? And I was like, I don't know. They said it doesn't go away. Well, we wanted to start a family. I knew that I couldn't safely take care of a child with what I had, because if there was a child crawling on the floor and I suddenly had an attack with no warning, I couldn't go get that child. I couldn't pick it up and keep it from getting harmed. So we went on a health journey. My husband actually led the way and really looked into, what does the Bible say about health and wellness? What does the Bible say about treating your body like the temple? What does the Bible say about what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat? He started studying other people, Jordan Rubin, Dr. Ted Brower, who experienced similar things where they were really sick with things that weren't supposed to get better. They turned to the Bible and they got better. My husband started studying these things, and he started sharing it with me. And at first I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not giving that up. It's too good. And then out of desperation, we started making some changes. We started treating our bodies like the temple that God created them to be. We learned that what we were putting on our skin's like a giant sponge. It just absorbs whatever you put in it. And so we were putting on just regular personal care products that had chemicals, that had poisons in them. We were putting them on our skin, not realizing that it was harming our body. And as we started making changes, very quickly I got well. Within about a few months, I was off of all my medicine, and I definitely have hearing loss from my attacks that I had, but I have not had an attack in 13 years, I believe. So it's been absolutely amazing. But this is what I've learned in the process, is they didn't tell me to take my hand off the stove. They told me to use medicine. They told me different things. And I'm so thankful to doctors. I'm thankful that if I got in an accident today, there's doctors at the hospital that can help us. I'm thankful for doctors that look at the big picture, that look at the whole body, and that can really help us. But I will tell you that in my situation, they didn't ask me how much water I was drinking. They didn't ask me what kind of water I was drinking. They didn't ask me about the personal care products that I put on. And then I saw a doctor here in Des Moines. He's since retired, but he discovered that I had a nutrient deficiency and talked to me about some of the toxins that were in my lifestyle. And what I learned is, I'm sitting in front of a fireplace, I don't know if you can see it right now, but is toxins, things that are poisoning our body. It's kind of like a stove. If you had a burn, you could treat that burn with whatever the doctor gives you. You could put aloe vera on it, you could put essential oils on it, whatever you want to do. But if you don't take your hand off the stove, you're not going to get well. And so for my situation, I was poisoning myself with foods that I was eating that had poisons in them, with personal care products that had poisons in them. And so I wasn't taking my hand, per se, off the stove. And as soon as we started replacing those things, one by one, we started replacing our lotions, our deodorants, our shampoos. We started feeding our body the nutrient, like the real whole food supplements that your body recognizes as food and not as chemicals. And as we started doing this, my body had the strength to heal itself. And so I want to talk to any of you guys out there. Maybe you've been given a diagnosis of, I don't know, I had a loved one just a few days ago that was given months to live. And that may or may not be the case. Sometimes God's healings take place later on in heaven. But the truth is just because somebody here on earth tells you that you have no hope, Just because somebody here on earth tells you that your days are limited, it doesn't mean it has to be that way. God's plans are bigger. He created your body to heal itself, just like he created my body to heal itself. And when they told me there was no hope, there was hope. And my hope was in God, in Jesus. And the Bible taught me how to get well. So I have people ask me, so you just prayed and you got well? And it wasn't exactly like that. For me, I prayed, I asked God to give me wisdom, and he taught me what I needed to do to get well. And so that's my challenge to you, is really, if you're looking to live a lifestyle of wellness, a lifestyle of full energy, of vitality, look at the big picture. It's much more than just treating the symptoms. It's feeding your body the nutrients, the healthy nutrients that they need, not synthetic, but the real food stuff. Taking toxins out of your life. I know I am an occupational therapist. I was working at a child serve when I made this discovery. And one of the things that I learned is we were making great progress working with these children with autism, with attention deficit disorder. But if the parents didn't know that the ingredients in their personal care products were linked to these symptoms, the ingredients in their foods or even nutrient deficiencies were linked to these symptoms, then we would never help the children reach their full potential. So my challenge for you today is go out and look at the big picture of health. Know that there is hope, even when nobody tells you that there is. God has big plans for you. So I'm passionate about teaching people about the big picture of health and wellness, because I know that when I was low in energy, when I was living in fear and anxiety, when I was living in pain, I wasn't able to do all that God had planned for me. And so my passion is to help people, teach people what the Bible says about health and wellness, teach people what I have learned about health and wellness. And for me, it was a long journey of trying different products, some that worked, some that radically didn't work. And now I have a whole line of products that I absolutely love. I was already healthy when I found these products, but I can save you some energy along the way of there's a lot of natural products out there that are amazing, and there's some out there that don't work so great. And also a lot of recipes that we tried that were just flops. So we've kind of stumbled along the way, and we've learned a lot, met a lot of great people. And so God has big plans for you guys, and he's got a future for you. He's got a purpose for you. He created your body to heal itself, and you just have to give it the nutrients that it needs to heal itself. Take your hand off the stove. Get rid of those poisons. Get rid of the poisons in your shower. Get rid of the poisons in your cupboard. Get rid of the poisons in your cleaning products. I know it sounds like small things, and do it one step at a time. But those small things will make a huge difference. They changed my life. I now have 4 children. Haven't had one single attack that I've had to worry about. I'm able to have children. I'm able to care for these children and to live in health and wellness. So that's my story. And I know you guys have big stories out too. I challenge you to share your story and to live a lifestyle of wellness, purpose, and abundance. Go out and change lives. And thank you so much. If you have any questions about my journey, my discoveries, don't hesitate to contact me, and have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye-bye.